writings on the wall, it won't go away. Ow. Hello there everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Elliot Webber. Now, as you're watching this, it is currently Friday. It is Thursday at time of recording, but you're watching this on a Friday, and I thought, well, it's that time of year again. It is time to give you my personal season predictions ahead of the 2025 British Touring Car Championship season, which kicks off this weekend at Donington Park. So, as always, let's get straight into this. Now, if you watched last year's prediction videos of mine, you will know that last year I did 10 predictions for the season. This time it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to give you 5 predictions, and I'm going to break these down into sort of 5 different categories. And they are my predictions for the biggest surprise of the season, the biggest disappointment of the season, the Btcc Jax Sears Trophy champion, the Btcc Independent Drivers champion, and obviously, last but not least, the overall Btcc Drivers champion. So, starting off with the biggest surprise, and by this I mean the driver that I think is going to surprise all of us throughout 2025, and that is Max Hall. Yep, that is right. I think Max Hall will be the most surprising driver, or the biggest surprise of the 2025 Btcc season. And what do I mean by this? Well, first off, he is a rookie. He is coming out of the mini JCW Challenge after just 1 year. He is also only 17 years of age. He's one of the youngest drivers to ever compete in the British Touring Car Championship. He's not the youngest ever, but he is one of the youngest ever. So, of course, no doubt he has a very big possibility of becoming the youngest ever British Touring Car Championship race winner. Well, personally, I don't think he's going to be winning any races in 2025. I do think that he is going to turn some heads, and he will perform very well in that Cupra. As mentioned in my Unlimited Motorsport preview video, that his livery is probably the best livery on the grid. There is some stiff competition out there for livery of the year, but my personal opinion, it's Max Hall's. But yeah, so for Max Hall, I think he's going to be, I think it is really difficult to predict, but he did an interview with Btcc earlier today, I believe, and he said that he's feeling very confident, and, you know, I've mentioned this as well, he seems very mature, a very mature racing driver for his age, and I do think he's going to turn some heads. While I don't think he's going to set the world alight in terms of lap time or anything, I don't think he'll be getting pole positions or race wins, as mentioned, but I do think we will see him in the top 10 at some point this year, and who knows, maybe, just maybe, we see him in the top 5, and if there is a reverse grid or that Cupra has improved drastically over the winter, then there could be a possibility that we see Max Hall on the podium. I think that is a little bit of a reach, but I do think Max Hall will be getting into the top 10 at some point during the 2025 British Touring Car Championship season. Now, moving on to the biggest disappointment, and this, my meaning of this is the driver who we all have quite high expectations for, but a driver who's not going to perform as well as we might have thought. And unfortunately for this, I've put down Robottom. I do think Dan Robottom is going to have but I do see him being one of the worst Napa drivers in terms of the championship standings. While I do think it's a slam dunk, he will be beating Sam Osborne in the championship, no disrespect to Sam. Dan Robottom is in a category of driver where he's nowhere near the worst driver on the grid, but he's nowhere near the best driver on the grid. Although I will give it to him, he does have his on days, and when he's on, he is one of the best on the grid. Obviously, a multiple-time race winner. However, he had a winless season in 2024, and he only had a couple of podiums to show for that, whereas Ash Sutton was obviously in the championship fight with multiple race wins and multiple podiums, and as same for Dan Camish, who had multiple race wins and multiple podiums. So, obviously, I don't wish this on anyone. I didn't want to put, honestly, I didn't want to put anyone in this category. But after some long thinking today, I do think, unfortunately, Dan Robottom is going to have a disappointing season. But I am hoping to be wrong. Don't worry, Dan Robottom fans, Andy Hoppers, I know you're watching this. Do not worry. I'm usually wrong when it comes to these predictions, although I was sort of halfway with my predictions last year for 2024. So yeah, but again, as mentioned, I'm willing to be wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong because I do not wish anyone on the grid to have a disappointing season. I want every driver on the grid to perform as well as possible. from a fan perspective, I want to see the greatest championship on the world thrive, and hopefully we can see that again in 2025. But now we must come to my true proper predictions, the predictions I was most excited to give, and that is the champions predictions. I'm predicting the Jax Sears Trophy champion, the Btcc Independent Drivers champion, and the overall Btcc Drivers champion. Starting off, of course, with the Jax Sears Trophy. Now, for those of you who don't know, for those of you who might be new to the Btcc this year, the Jax Sears Trophy is sort of a sub-championship, whereas this is for drivers who haven't yet achieved more than one overall podium in the Btcc, or for drivers who have previously won the Jax Sears Trophy. So, for example, Mikey Doble, he is the reigning Jax Sears Trophy champion. However, he still only has one podium, but because he is a previous champion, he is not eligible for the Jax Sears Trophy in 2025. Hopefully, I've explained that properly for anyone who's new, or for anyone who's not aware of this new format to the JST this year. This is a change for the Jax Sears Trophy in 2025. But anyway, yes, coming to my prediction, and I made this firmly clear when he got announced at Team BMW. My prediction for the Jax Sears Trophy in 2025 is Daryl DeLeon. Yep, that is right. Daryl DeLeon will be the 2025 Jax Sears Trophy champion. In my personal opinion, again, you are fully welcome to be wrong here. This is an open discussion. If you do disagree with me, pop down your predictions in the comments below. So for Daryl DeLeon, I think no doubt he's going to be the Jax Sears Trophy champion. Why? He's in arguably the best car. He's in arguably with the best team on the grid, one of the best teams in Btcc history in WSR, in a BMW 330e, the championship, the car that won the championship last year in the hands of Jake Hill. No doubt Daryl DeLeon is going to be winning at least one race in 2025. He is super quick for his age. He's only 19 or 20 or something like that, but he is uber quick. He's been quick in everything he's driven throughout his small career, but no doubt he is going to turn some heads. Similar to Max Hall, he's going to turn some heads in that BMW. No doubt we'll be seeing Daryl DeLeon on the podium, and no doubt he'll be getting some top steps, and no doubt he will be the Jax Sears Trophy champion. Now, moving on to the Independent Drivers Champion. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is for drivers who race for teams who do not have manufacturer support. So this is basically a championship that doesn't include Accelerate, WSR, Napa Racing and Toyota. So all the other teams are eligible for the independent, and the drivers who race for those teams are obviously eligible. For those of you who are new to the championship or just didn't understand that. So my personal prediction, I know for the past couple of videos I've been saying that Dan Lloyd has been my pick for the independent championship. However, I'm going to change it, and I'm going to say that Josh Cook will be the 2025 Btcc Independent Champion for the third time in his career. He's already a two-time Independent Drivers Champion already in the Btcc. I know he has gone on to say countless times that he wants to be the overall champion, and we'll get into that in a couple of minutes' time. But yeah, I think because Josh Cook is just that good, I think he's just going to cakewalk the Independent Drivers Championship this year. I think he's going to have a similar season akin to what ATS Aaron Taylor-Smith had last year, where he was just fighting at the front for so much that he was literally just taking independent wins because he was the only independent fighting for overall wins. I think, yeah, again, I'm sure Josh Cook will be a mathematical contender for the championship. Whether or not he will be a legitimate contender, we will have to wait and see until this Saturday and Sunday. But still, I do think Josh Cook is going to easily cakewalk this championship. Although, as mentioned, Dan Lloyd will be up there. Mikey Doble's going to be up there. Chris Smiley's going to be up there. We might see the Unlimited boys up there. And yeah, it's truly, even in the Independent Driver Championship, it is going to be a fierce fight for sure. But again, as mentioned, I do think Josh Cook will be the independent champion before the Brands Hatch finale in October. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. Last but not least, my personal pick, my personal prediction for the 2025 British Touring Car Championship. And if you've been paying attention to what I've been saying on social media, if you've been paying attention to some of my previous videos, you will already know who my pick is. I've mentioned it in a couple of comments. I've mentioned it in previous videos. I've mentioned it on my social medias. My pick for the 2025 British Touring Car Championship is Tom Ingram. Yep, that is right. I think Tom Ingram will finally get redemption part 2. He will finally take that second crown of his career. Obviously, he missed out by so close last year in 2024. He wasn't really close in 2023, but he still finished second that year as well. So after finishing second for the previous 2 seasons, I do think, once again, Tom Ingram will become the 2025 British Touring Car Champion. 2-time Tingram, as I'm going to label him for the rest of the year, if he does it. But, of course, guys, those are just my predictions for the British Touring Car Championship this year. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Who is your prediction for the biggest surprise driver of 2025? Who's your biggest disappointment prediction driver? Who is your prediction to become the 2025 Jax Sears Trophy champion? Who is your prediction to become the Btcc Independent Drivers champion? And of course, the most important one, who is your prediction to become the overall 2025 British Touring Car champion? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. I am so excited for this season to kick off. 24 cars, 24 drivers, 4 previous champions, 15 previous race winners, 3 new names in terms of rookies on the grid. I truly cannot wait. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Of course, if you're new around here, be sure to like this video, share with your mates as well, because it, of course, does help my channel grow. And, of course, press that subscribe button, because we are firmly on the road to 400 subscribers. And just another quick one, please go and watch my previous preview videos. I have previewed every single team on the grid and their drivers in their respective videos. I haven't made a playlist yet, but I will be making a playlist of all my 2025 preview videos ahead of this season this weekend. So again, thank you guys for watching. Please go check out those videos. And yeah, again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see all of you in the next one. Goodbye.